All right, welcome everybody. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm Raul Acosta, Director of Global Partnerships at Client, and I'm super excited to be hosting this webinar today with one of our top partners, 28 North. Kaytlin Parrella is joining me, a COO of 28 North, and Ryan Wischnefski, CEO as well. So let me tell you why I think today's going to be a little bit different. Most of the webinars you get invited to in this category go something like this. A vendor puts a customer on stage, right, or on the webinar. The customer reads a script that sounds suspiciously like the vendor's marketing deck or the sales deck. Everyone nods, and then you leave with a case study PDF that you'll probably never open again. This is not going to be like that. What you're about to hear is a story about a firm whose entire job, their actual paid operating model, is walking to other companies, rebuilding their go-to-market systems, Salesforce, HubSpot, RevOps, the whole stack. They are the architects other companies hire when their own house is on fire. So a little while ago, and Ryan and Kaytlin looked at their own house, realized the architects have been living with a leaky roof. Their project delivery, the thing that actually pays the bills at a consulting firm, was running on spreadsheets, calendar invites, and a HubSpot instance that was doing a job wasn't really designed to do. So today you're going to hear what happens when a firm that fixes this stuff for a living turns the lens on itself. So the honest and transparent version. Here's what we tried. Here's what flopped. Here's what finally worked version. So a couple of housekeeping notes. Drop your questions in the Q&A panel anytime. We'll get to as many as we can at the end. If we don't reach yours, we'll follow up afterwards. The recording will go out tomorrow. And if at any point you're sitting here thinking, wait, that sounds exactly like us, that's the point. Most service firms are running some version of what 28 North is running now. The honest ones are just the ones that admit it. So Ryan, Kaytlin, the floor is yours. Please take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Raul. So like Raul said, today is not really a story about software. Today's a story about how at 28 North, we realized that what we were doing was not scalable because we didn't have our infrastructure in place. So at 28 North, we help companies architect their go-to-market systems. That means that sales, marketing, customer service, and operations all are connected and come together. We call ourselves go-to-market architects. And last year, a little bit after we got started, we realized that we were holding everything together with memory, spreadsheets, Slack messages, text messages, and of course, force of will. Oops, let me get this to move to the next one. Okay. When we started, it was just me and Ryan. So spreadsheets were an acceptable answer at the time. We were small. We had one or two projects. It wasn't that much to manage. We could keep most of it in our heads and do that successfully. If we needed to know who was available, who we could bring in, we would just text each other. If we needed to provide a project status, we would open our spreadsheets and pray that they were updated. If we needed to see what our margin was, that was a late Friday night putting some data massaging together. We saw quick success with our services, and with success comes complexity, of course. So we hit a wall, the same wall that all growing services companies hit, which is we had data, but no visibility. We had projects, no predictability, and we had growth, but we didn't have the operational infrastructure underneath it. And you can't scale when you can't measure. Now, Raul, you had asked me the other day about this founder bottleneck area here, and which one of us was the real bottleneck. So in my opinion, it was Ryan, but I'm sure Ryan, you would feel probably.
No, I would definitely agree. It was definitely me. That was the bottleneck at that point, just from the amount of stuff we had coming in and trying to find the right people. It just wasn't something that we could scale with and invoice and give the client service that we were really wanting to do, and as important as at any point, but especially when you're new and starting out. So
I mean, somebody's got to take accountability, right, Kaytlin? We got to blame somebody. Got to point a finger at somebody. It was Ryan. So
I got broad shoulders. I can take it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So we knew it was time, right? We had to find a system and put that in place. Now, because of what we do for a living, and Ryan and I have extensive history in the Salesforce ecosystem. So we have seen and implemented and customized a ton of PSA tools. So we found some of those tools are very rigid. Some of those things become customization monsters. And a lot of them end up being another silo, right? Something else for everybody to worry about. So we knew that what we needed wasn't just software. We needed to get our operating system together. So we were looking for a product that connects to Salesforce. We were looking for a product that is built for services teams, and we were looking for a product that had flexibility but didn't demand it. And so we wouldn't be creating technical debt. So the question we kept asking ourselves as we were evaluating and thinking, what tool do we want to use, is which tool connects to our operating system that's not going to, again, create a silo of something else that people don't want to use and it's just a problem in the background. And that question is what made our decision pretty clear. Client had everything that we were looking for. So when it comes to implementation, this is the part that most companies get backwards, right? They buy the software before they understand their workflows, and then they try to implement it with the broken workflows that they have today. So we knew if we skipped the hard operational work, we would just have a platform, that would fail. So before implementation, we mapped out everything. We studied our workflows, we mapped our integrations. For those of you that know the tool Lucid Chart, that was a huge part of our lives for several weeks there as we got everything together. When it came to design, we knew we had to map out how work enters our business, how our projects need to be structured, where our handoffs needed to happen, what data matters and when it matters, and then try to think around what we didn't want to have to customize. One of the smartest things that we did in this was resisting the urge to over-engineer. For people that are in the same space as us, we're all nerds, right? We love to customize stuff. So it was a strong urge to resist. Sorry, trying not to cough in your ear as well. And Raul, you had asked me before too, and Ryan, you can get your perspective on this too, but why was it so important for us to not customize, right? Do you want to take a stab at it first, Ryan?
Yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. Like, why did you hold the line on this one? Because I think this is an important one, right? So a lot of companies that we work with, right? They're always scared that there's going to be scope creep. Service firms typically customize everything. They want to bill in perpetuity. You guys customize for a living. Why did you hold the line on this one, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, from my side, it's a conversation we have with our clients all the time, right? Build versus buy, and in the end, it comes down to like features and enhancements that continue to be rolled out by a tool like Client. I mean, you all are releasing new features on a monthly basis, and as you know, this allows us to really focus more on delivery and how we're going to work versus the tool that we need to do our work. So you all are continually coming out with new features, embracing the agent side of Salesforce and trying to really look to make this whole delivery process easier, which, if we would have built it ourselves, that would be, we'd have to have a team of people on our side just maintaining and building our own internal delivery tool. Whereas, we use Client and we're constantly getting those features delivered to us. So that's kind of the biggest thing from our point of view.
Yeah, the more you customize, the more of a problem child it becomes at the end of the day, right? So if you can massage your processes into the structure that's provided, and the great thing about Client is that it is built for what we do, right? It's built for services. It's built for you to run this the way that it comes out of the box. So we spent a lot of time reflecting, Ryan, right, about how we were doing things and finding that those things don't fit into how Client operates, but that didn't mean that Client was wrong. That meant that probably we were running things a little bit more oddly than we should be. So we spent a lot of time kind of thinking about those things and making some adjustments to how we wanted to approach delivery and tracking. All right. Now, our implementation approach for our rollout, we did opt to do self-onboarding, and we did that because we really wanted to invest in learning the tool and making sure that we got all the nitty-gritty stuff out of it. And the best way to do that is to jump off the cliff without the parachute, right? So we dove in head first and we did our implementation in under 30 days. So because we intentionally stayed close to native functionality, not only did that make our implementation faster, but our adoption was dramatically easier. So we didn't have the stress of, hey guys, this is our new tool. This is how it works. Don't touch that button, because we're customizing, right? So we avoided all of that and really just did as much out of the box as we could. So as I said before, Client comes with everything that you really need to go live. And again, we felt that if we had to customize something, that probably meant that how we were doing it was not the most efficient way of doing it. So we spent a lot of time reflecting about that.
Kaytlin, could I ask here, because I think adoption and change management is really near and dear to the heart. This is where I've seen my personal experience. A lot of implementations fail post go live. You mentioned here lessons learned fast. Could you talk a little bit about that? What were some of the lessons? I mean, even just maybe a couple of key ones, I think would be great.
Yeah, and this mostly comes from, the space of work that we do. We've seen a ton of people adopt tools and not focus on making it something that's easy to use for everybody at the end of the day, right? So the lesson that we learned is you need to make it very streamlined. You need to make it very easy to use. You need to, again, not customize it so it becomes something that you don't need to remember not to press that button, right? And that allows our team at least to go in and just use it without having to worry about a steep learning curve.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay. Now, key process improvements, resource allocation. So, Raul, you and I had talked about this before, but what was the moment, right? When was it that Ryan and I were like, we can't do this over text message anymore?
The light bulb moment, the aha moment, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the aha moment,
Mhm.
right? So, like I said, it was just Ryan and I at the beginning. We've been doing this a long time. We've worked with a ton of people over the years, and what we found when we started our own business is all of those folks from our past wanted to work with us again, right? So we quickly became busy and had to bring in other folks to help us. We couldn't support it ourselves anymore. So our resource planning, as we started bringing in friends and people from our past, was basically operational improv, right? It was me texting Ryan, hey man, who do you know that knows CRMA? Or hey man, who do you know that can do flows? It was just a mess. So that was our aha moment. Is we had got so busy so quick and we were texting late into the night, hey, we need somebody for this, hey, we need somebody for that. And we knew that if we could just have a system that could show us who was available and what their skills were, that would be much better suited, right? So now what we have is the ability to see capacity instantly. We can filter our capacity and our resources by their expertise. So we have all of our folks in with their skills. So if I'm looking, for example, for somebody that knows CRMA, I can filter for that and know exactly who has that skill and what their schedule looks like for the X number of months. And that allowed us to forecast our workload before saying yes to a client engagement. And this is what a lot of implementation service companies don't do right. They sign the document because they want to make the deal, and then they try to figure it out afterwards. Who can help us, right? We're being very intentional about not doing that at 28 North. And so the tools that Client PSA has, and you can see a little image of the resource planner here, this allows us to go in and say, okay, this consultant might be the best one at CRMA, but he's booked 40 hours a week for the next 6 weeks. So no, we can't sign that deal because he's not available until the end of June. Let me see. So project visibility was another key process improvement for us. So, and this is what honestly changed a lot of our customer relationships too. So before, our project health conversations were pretty reactive. We would get on the call and hope nobody was upset because we couldn't see all of the things that were potentially dropping, right? And we were finding out that things were wrong kind of at the same time as our customers live on those calls, right? So now with the tools that we have in Client, we're able to walk into our conversations knowing that this task that was due on Monday is past due now, and we're going to have a conversation about it, right? So we're no longer being reactive. Now we're being proactive advisors and coming to the conversation with the knowledge that we need to make the customers happy at the end of the day. So this one was a huge difference for our customers as well as us. And then Ryan, I'll pitch it over to you for the financial forecasting part of it.
Yeah, of course, because as we really started to grow, one of the biggest things that we were running into, now owning and having our own business is the additional expenses that come along with that, right? So understanding exactly, how much revenue we're going to have coming in, what are the margins on our current projects, like running that out of a spreadsheet, we were just so reactive, seeing all of that data that it was really hard to be able to make business decisions and know if we need another person, do we need another tool, like how are we going to make all of this work? So that financial lag was really, hindering us and our ability to invest in more people, more tools, all of that sort of stuff. So Now with the client time tracking and being able to track down to the task level too, it creates that visibility, one for us as owners and founders running the business, but also we can report out on that relatively easily. Going tying back into what Kay was talking about project health is people are logging their time by task, so we can see if there's going to be an overrun down to that level. So it allows us to not just serve our company better, but also serve our clients better in that way. And next slide, Kate. So kind of, out of that, instead of, spending hours in spreadsheets and trying to figure out what our margin is on these things, as people are also putting time into a different spreadsheet, of course. This just saved us an immense amount of time, because now we have dashboards and we can go into our projects and see exactly where we're at from a margin perspective, from a burn perspective, and be able to communicate that out to our customers. And really kind of, this was our drink your own champagne moment, right? Like, we are a firm that goes in and tells other businesses, like, hey, get off the spreadsheet. Hey, make sure all your data works, make sure you're being as proactive as you can instead of reactive. And that finally, we started to practice what we were preaching, and we couldn't be happier at this point with how clients really helped us run and manage and give insights into our business.
And Ryan, let me ask you too. I love these numbers, right? Because I think this is our real numbers. I'm actually curious about the moment. Like, for you and Kaytlin, was there a specific week, a specific Monday where you guys looked at a dashboard and you said, "Holy cow, this is actually working now," right? Our operating model is really working. Using clients starting to really have an impact. And if you
Yeah,
don't remember the day,
I
that's
think it was
totally okay.
probably
I
when
was
we
curious. Yeah.
reached,
Mhm. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I don't remember the date, but I do remember it was kind of when we were up to, 5 or so 1099s that we had working with us. And instead of us having to, coordinate via Slack or text message or that sort of stuff, just being able to log into, our operating tool of
Yeah.
how we're running our business and be able to see who's on what, when is this project supposed to end, how long are these tasks going out for. So as we're having conversations with new prospects and new leads, or even existing clients on, new projects, we were able to, have that conversation without having to bother someone else, because we just
Yeah.
had the data and we had set it up properly, and we were trusting that. And that was the real flip moment, where we're like, now we can focus on growth and not focus on, keeping our own data up to date.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was an impact on customer experience as well, right? In terms of your delivery and operations, right? So that's got
Yeah.
to be key.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen, the time that we save, sorry to jump in, Ryan, but the time that
Yeah.
we're saving not massaging these spreadsheets, we're now able to have more intention and focus with our customers. So we're not buried in spreadsheets. We're able to actually focus on the work and the engagement, which is really nice as well. And I know, Ryan, there was one day shortly after we went live where you had messaged me and you're like, hey, I'm not spending all of this time doing this spreadsheet massaging. The data is just there, and it was related to invoicing, remember? So it was such a relief to just be able to open up a page, see everything that you needed to do for invoicing. You didn't have to move things from here, move things from there, do your formulas. It was just done for you. And I remember that text message because it was like a sigh of relief for you.
Yeah, that, and of course I mean, we have our client instance connected to QuickBooks too. So, all of that work and all of the time entry and all of that, we're now able to invoice directly in client, and it posted back to QuickBooks. So, it saved a whole lot of manual work that we were also doing just around, operating the business. And now, Kate and I are able to focus on, like, what's next to make our team more efficient in how we're delivering and serving our clients, and not worrying about how our business is running as much, which has been a lovely addition that we've started to experience in the last 6 months or so, as we've really started to ramp up and get some more clients coming in.
Perfect. Yeah, I'd love to hear more about what's next, but at the end here in the Q&A. But thanks,
Yeah.
that's great. Love the story.
We've got a couple more slides here, so let me move on to our partnership value. So the more we worked with client, the more convinced we became that it's solving a problem that most companies are actually struggling with, right? So we saw what was possible with the platform. when it was implemented the right way, right? So again, the intention behind the operational structure being in place first and then putting the tool into place. So that meant our systems are connected, the workflows are intentional, the people then are easier to adopt that process and use the tool, again, not creating that silo or that other problem child tool that you now have to worry about in the background. So like I said, the more we worked with it, the more we realized that we should help other companies experience this. This is really great, right? It gave us such a relief that we just wanted to shout it out to the world. So that's what we do now. A lot of companies don't struggle, right, because the platform is lacking. They struggle because the operating model around it is lacking. So nobody's connecting the pieces, nobody's building the processes, nobody is creating the conditions for adoption. And that's where a lot of folks fail, right? So we've decided we're going to help the world solve that when they're looking to onboard Client PSA as well. Okay, last one. Okay, so Q&A, but before we get into the questions, I'll just leave you with this thought here. So operational bottlenecks that frustrate your team today are usually the warning signs that that you'll face for scaling, right? So the earlier you architect systems correctly, the easier your business can scale is the point of this. So I did invite one person to the call here who is Mr. Brian Yap, and he's on the phone. He's from 28 North as well. And Brian, I'm going to put you on the spot, but Brian is a 1099 that works with us. And when he came in here, client was already established, right? And we threw him to it and said, Brian, this is what you're going to use now. So he's somebody that didn't design it, didn't build it for the company, but was thrown into it and had to use it from his day-to-day for operations. So Brian, I just wanted to get your perspective. Sorry to put you on the spot with it, but your perspective on how easy it was for you to adopt this and the things that you love about the tool as well. Oh, can he talk, Raul?
I don't think so, just because
Oh.
we had to put him as a panelist to speak.
Oh,
So
okay.
sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that. We'll get a summary from Brian and we can share that with the folks afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. We didn't think
No,
about
I
that
didn't
beforehand.
think
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, no, good. No, good. I think obviously if you're interested in learning more, scan the QR codes. Happy to reach out to you. Follow 28 North, follow us on LinkedIn. If that's it, then maybe we'll just open it up for some Q&As here, see if anybody's any questions. I did get a couple of questions beforehand from some of our customers, a couple of questions from our customers, but I wanted to open up to the audience, see if anybody has any questions they wanted to ask Kaytlin and Ryan. Don't be shy. Feel free to ask. While we're waiting, Kaytlin, Ryan, I did have one of the questions that I see comes up, and I got a question this from a customer the other day, is we talked a little about customization, right, on one of the previous slides, but I see a lot about build versus buy. Some customers think that, hey, I've got the internal resources, we can build a solution on Salesforce. It's going to be a lot more cost effective. I've got my perspective and opinion on this, but I'm curious to see, do you guys come across that? What's your perspective on build versus buy on platform? Is that something you guys thought about? Curious to get your perspective on that.
Yeah. Ryan, you want me to take this one?
Yeah, you can go first. I'll add on.
Yeah, I've got a couple of thoughts around this. So with the world and the way that AI is today, you could build anything, right? When we thought about this too, because we're heavy users of Claude and Claude can do whatever you tell Claude to do, right? But
Yep.
Ryan and I have been in services for a really long time, but we haven't been in the business of designing tools for services, right? So when we were thinking about should we build this or should we buy it, it really came down to, client does this professionally, right? They made the tool for professional services. They're thinking about things outside of how we as 28 North operate. And like I said before, we stayed as close to out of the box as possible because we wanted to align to good processes for project delivery. And so if you're trying to build it, you're likely going to be building it from how you operate today, which is not necessarily the best way to operate. So when you're looking at tools, it actually makes you think about changing your processes versus building a tool that just works with what you have, if that makes sense. So that was one of our points.
Yeah, that's great. I think I totally agree with that, Kaytlin, as well. And I think that's a conversation that comes across, especially in the sales process as well for larger firms. They just think they have either, in-house or offshore, especially with the appeal of going offshore to India, where they're obviously soliciting, I think, even us as well for development at really, really cheap rates. But I think that's a huge risk to your business, and you're going to have some long-term pain over the
The
next
other
few
thing
years.
is
So Yeah.
it doesn't continuously improve, right? So once you build it, it's stale. And if it's stale, then you're not going to get any better. You guys are releasing stuff constantly, right? And that the released features help improve how your business can run. So if you build it yourself, you're going to have to be continually trying to make it better and better. And so your teams are going to be swamped doing that instead of delivering the work that you're actually supposed to be delivering as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Perfect.
that's exactly what I was gonna add on too. It's like as soon as it's stale, then you need to find the time to continue to improve it. And time is money. So you're either gonna pull someone off a client engagement or you're gonna have to spend extra money to find someone offshore, nearshore, whatever it is to continue to build and improve that. But that takes my time, it takes Kate's time to say, hey, this is what we need versus we're using a PSA tool that knows what we need and is constantly trying to improve that for us. So it's a matter of just, installing in the sandbox, making sure we understand the new features and adopting it versus going through the whole build test, kind of iterative cycle. So that's definitely a big thing from us, from our perspective, because we want to focus on clients and growth.
All right. We've got something from Darren Walters here. Good question here. Great presentation. What client functionality are you not using now, but hoping to use in the future? Surveys, resource utilization, billable. Do you use AI in client sales, or what's your opinion of it? Are you using client for project setup all the way through to invoicing? Good question.
Yeah, so we are using client from projects all the way through invoicing. And as Ryan mentioned before, that connects to our QuickBooks. So everything is connected from the beginning to the end for us. Something we're not using today, but we're actually I'm sending Brian in as our troops to figure this out is excuse me, is the agents, right? So the whole new suite of agents that client has put out, we're looking at adopting those kind of one by one, and we're hoping to have that done in the next couple of weeks here.
Perfect. Ryan, you want to jump in? I do have one last question for you guys here that came in that we see a lot in our, I would say, evaluation process. And if you guys, I know we've got a minute here if you want to tackle this. But the one thing we hear is a lot is from service leaders watching this, or even in general, we're talking to them, we're not ready yet. We need to clean up our business process, which we need to re-engineer our business process. When you hear that, what would you tell them?
That's an important step. You need to make sure everything is where it needs to be before you implement a tool, and certainly before you engage AI, right? Because both of those things will just create further messes down the line. But like we said during our implementation process and when we were looking at our onboarding, we were learning about the better way to do things while we were engaged in our onboarding process. So I guess my answer is you don't need to necessarily wait to engage with the tool. You need to just be cognizant that you don't go live until your processes are where they need to be.
Yeah, 100%. You need to, I mean, how we approached it and how we like to approach kind of everything with our clients is like let the workflow and the business drive, what tool we're going to use. And I think that's why, when Kate and I first saw the client demo and presentation from Yannick, like we were like, this fits exactly what we were looking for. Like we had multiple vendor evaluations lined up, and I think client was the first one. And we are just like, I don't think we need to see anything else. Like we've been in the ecosystem, we've seen kind of the PSA competitors, and this was like it had such a good balance of customization and some neat features, but also used Salesforce natively, which a lot of other competitors did not do, which just meant ease of use, ease of administration, and knowing that the future of what client was going to be rolling out would kind of roll in seamlessly and wouldn't be a huge adoption headache or anything like that too.
Yeah. No, we appreciate that. And I know we're at time now, we're a minute over, but thank you guys so much. You could have easily said no to this and you said yes. So we appreciate your partnership. We appreciate you guys being a customer. Thanks for sharing your story. And thanks to everybody for attending. We're going to send out the recording probably by tomorrow latest. But certainly if there's anything else that came up that we didn't get to and you have questions, feel free to reach out to us. Thanks again to 28 North, and thanks to everybody who attended again.